A massive thank you to Formula Motors, Elvis, Matai, Vasudev and Joe for subscribing to the channel. If you're not already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 5 of season 7 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we're here back in Spain, Catalonia. Been a while I think since I've raced around this venue. It often doesn't feature in this series anymore. But of course, yeah, the final season, the last dance, we're racing at every circuit, of course, with one obvious omission. If you missed out on the last video that went live a couple of days ago, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. We got back into this series at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Had a bit of an eventful race, but still good fun nonetheless. And of course, if you aren't already, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed as well for more Formula 1 content from me. Trying to hit 50k now before the 1st of July when F1 2022 releases. Of course, yeah, this channel is going to be the place to be for news and everything like that for the next F1 game as well. So yeah, make sure you subscribe for plenty more Formula 1 and sim racing content. But championship-wise then, George Russell now leads the way, 2 points ahead of myself as we head into the 5th race of the year there. Mercedes have had, Red Bull even I should say, have had pretty good luck so far in the Constructors' Championship. They lead the way 21 points clear of us, who are a further 21 points clear of Ferrari. So all still to play for early on in the campaign. We just desperately need our teammate Max Verstappen to finally get a bit of luck as well here. But yeah, round 5 in Spain. Let's get it. Let's see what's going to be possible today. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. The choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, back at the Spanish Grand Prix. Like I said, it's been a while since I've driven here in Barcelona on F1 2021. Always been a weird track, this one. I've never been a particularly big fan of Catalonia. However, often has been a track I've actually been pretty quick at, nonetheless. So we'll have to wait and see how quickly I can sort of gel back with the circuit again today. But yeah, only time will tell there is already through turn 3, back end, trying to wriggle free. Round in the final corner then to complete our track acclimatization lap is only going to be the green score, I think, although we might be close yet. Oh, just missed out on purple. It definitely feels like the back end is just a little bit loose around this circuit, but we'll go into the tyre wear program. Find so much pace though down the straights. 211, 212 miles an hour there down towards turn 1 here of Spain, as I really need to try and take less curb through turn 1. Right in the final corner, that's going to be a nice easy purple score then. Good way to finish off practice. Let's see what we can do in quali. Well, it turns out I'm a bit stupid. Did my Q1 run there on the soft tyres, thought that'd be enough to see us through into Q2, and apparently not. We're out in Q1 for the Spanish Grand Prix there. That is not what we should be doing as a championship challenger there. We missed out, what, about 0.2 of a second, but I mean, look at that. We were 1.3 seconds off pole, and that was only good enough for P19 there. So many cars are so close together now. It was actually Verstappen who went fastest there at the end of qualifying. What am I meant to do? That was not my finest moment on F1 2021 apparently. So we're going to be starting this one then from P19 on the grid. I guess we're just going to have to get on with it. I was not expecting that, hence why there was no sort of commentary beforehand. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome along then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix, a race which saw Max Verstappen win on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016. This after the dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg on the first lap. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. George Russell did very well in qualifying yesterday and will start today's race from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Stroll, Charles Leclerc and Perez, Sainz, Tsunoda, Zhou and Valtteri Bottas, Ricciardo, Aitken, Nicholas Latifi and Mick Schumacher, Mr. Monaco, Schwartzman, Callum Ilott and Luca Giotto, Giovinazzi, Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Mazepin and Christian Lundgaard. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Spanish Grand Prix, round 5 of the year there, and I must admit, the AI inconsistencies on F1 2021, are a bit frustrating. The fact that a lot of cars that made it into Q2 then had slower times than we did in Q1, it's all a bit strange there, and the fact you have to tweak the AI levels between qualifying and races still sometimes does get rather frustrating. But a one-stop strategy today, mediums onto hards, does actually often open up a little bit better of a race for you. It's a slightly quicker strategy than the 2-stop for the front runners, and not an easy track to overtake at either, the Spanish Grand Prix. So yeah, P15, a few cars with penalties, means we're a little bit higher up the order as well, so fingers crossed we can try and recover a good result here today in Spain. But ready on the grid then, let's see what we can do back in Catalonia. Need to try and get a nice clean start here on the grid. 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Oh, immediately actually getting a slightly better initial launch there than Mick Schumacher, but the AI just have so much speed as we head down. What am I meant to do? The AI just giving us a big old squeeze in towards turn 1 there. I think it was Robert Schwartzman might have been a little bit screwed by that. No, it must have been Luca Giotto, I think, in the other Haas car there that unfortunately had nowhere to go down towards turn 1. But I mean, yeah, Schwartzman was just slowly moving across me. Wasn't willing to back out off the start there. We need to be aggressive early on in the Spanish GP, but a lot of wheel banging there, a lot of trading paint, but I think we have got away with it. Car feels absolutely fine as well, which of course is the most important thing. That was a bit close on lap 1 there, as Schumacher can't quite capitalise and get back past us there as we head up towards the top of the hill. But a dramatic start then here in Spain. Of course, we had wet weather start last time around in Portimao that made things very, very interesting. But this time around, yeah, we're just trying not to take any prisoners early on in this GP. Looks like it is still going to be George Russell, championship leader, who leads the way at the end of lap 1 with Max Verstappen, our teammate, right behind him. Sure, that is going to be a title battle in a few years from now. But can we try and get a run on Nicholas Latifi, George Russell's old teammate, as we head back down towards turn 1 there? We've actually got 5 cars from 5 different teams inside the top 5 there. But round the outside of Latifi we look. No, there's a tiny bit of contact there, but we get away with it. Oh, we've got yellow flags out, though, by the looks of it. Just a few corners later. Is that a Williams, or is that an Alpine? It's Callum Ilott in the Williams out of the Spanish Grand Prix there, so not what Williams need to start the weekend. And 3 Mercedes mechanical failures early on in the last 2 Grand Prix there is not what they need either to give them any sort of confidence, as we're going to go full send on Callum Ilott. Very, very close to contact, but we'll hang him out to dry. And Mick Schumacher will say thank you very much. And a bit like Verstappen at Monaco 2015, he will capitalise. Oh, Jack Aitken just run a little bit wide out of the final corner to finish off lap 3 here. DRS, of course, has now been enabled, so he should be a sitting duck.
Start being a little conservative with the remaining fuel, please.
I think we're going to be alright, Jeff, there as we fly down around the outside of the Alfa Romeo back towards T1. Back up now into 12th place then of the Grand Prix, and I think most of the cars now in front of us, with the exception of Ricciardo, all started on the soft, so they're likely to be 2-stopping, as Purple through the first sector as well. And at the moment, I think it must be Zhou Guanyu that is holding up both McLarens here, because we're taking good time out of the pair of them, and by the looks of it, not really losing too much visually anyway, looking at the mini-map on the cars in front. Looks like Verstappen's just forming a bit of a train. Perhaps our teammate's struggling a bit. Oh, there we go. First cars into the pits. Tsunoda and Leclerc both already getting off those sets of soft compound tyres on just lap 6 of the Grand Prix. So tyre deck very, very high on those tyres. I guess the only other real thing that could shake this one up, of course, is a safety car. But yeah, we just got to keep our head down, focus on our strategy at the moment, because that's how we're going to get close to those Red Bulls. Oh, and there we go. Max in just 1 lap later. Thank you for that, Jeff. Are we going to see anyone else? Yep, Bottas into the pits as well. Looks like George Russell has hung out for another lap, but his teammate Sergio Perez has dived it in.
Strategy option.
Team recommending us a new strat. They want us to go even longer. So team clearly happy with our tyre wear at the moment. They reckon we can go pretty much half a race on this set of boots, but I think we'll see how the tyres hang on. And there we go. Guan Yu Zhou into the pits as well as George Russell there. So our top 2 that was still out in this GP are in. They're definitely then going to be 2-stop, and there's no way you want to take a set of hard tyres 24 laps in this GP.
By 11.3 seconds.
Yeah, starting lap 9, we've now got to try and close up the gap to the Australian just in front of us, because this could end up being the battle for the win. Verstappen, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 15.1. I mean, unless we get a safety car, shouldn't be in contention for fastest lap today, but yeah, we are a long way ahead of our teammate. It is just a case of seeing whether George Russell's going to get held up behind Aitken and Schumacher. Jack Aitken, currently in podium contention for Alfa Romeo. You would have never guessed that before the start of the year. Might just have finally got within the DRS range of Daniel Ricciardo then in this Grand Prix. In the perfect world, we get ahead of him before the pit stop window, as yes we have.
In front. Try to keep this momentum.
Really pushing hard at the moment is George Russell, still only 9 seconds back. This race is certainly far from over, nor should it be. Basically decided 12 laps in.
We're seeing a gap form.
But yeah, really, oh, so much oversteer on the exit of the corner there as Mick Schumacher gets the better of Jack Aitken. So now the Aston Martin in the podium places early on, but yeah, I'm really just hoping they can kind of work together and hold up George Russell. Looks like they're going side by side, which, I mean, I guess that gives George less room to make a move. I guess the only real problem is all the dirty air heading out through the final couple of corners really makes it difficult to get a big run on a car like a McLaren back down towards the money. See, we gain, but Ricciardo as well, king of the late breakers there. Absolutely no sense that he was expecting a move from us there, and nor was I really ever going to be able to make one work, because we're going to have to really try and hang close through the first sector. But I mean, look at that already. George Russell has lost about 3 seconds in about a lap and a half, because Aitken and Schumacher are still duking it out. Right, come on then, Daniel Ricciardo. Let's see what you've got as we really try and hang close this time round out through the final couple of corners. A little bit of oversteer there on the exit of the chicane, but we are going to be a little bit closer this time round. Team Honours pitting fairly soon in this GP. The Australian's going to go to the left. The right. We're going to go to the left. But look at that from Ricciardo. A super aggressive defence as we go side by side through turn 2 there. Big snap oversteer as we head through turn 3 there. And is Ricciardo going to be able to hang on? Oh, I tried to go for the switchback, but he was still side by side with Ricciardo there. And yep, I will hold my hands up and admit that's probably a fair warning. Had that been real life, that could have possibly been an airplane crash between myself and Ricciardo, but wanted to try and go for a heroic move. As now looks like, oh, a big lock up there. Ricciardo rocking his way through turn 8. But George Russell has moved past Aitken, trying to hang close to Daniel Ricciardo this time around. Is he going to pit though at the end of this lap? Yes, he is. So now it's going to be a case of, can we do the overcut on the Australian here? This is effectively going to have to be a qualifying style lap then around this Spanish GP circuit, as I think George Russell is probably going to power his way past Mick Schumacher as well here. But all started to unfold then in this Spanish Grand Prix. Where is Ricciardo going to re-emerge, actually, out of interest? As there goes George Russell. Has he made the move work? I think Schumacher might have hung on. They're side by side. And I think, yeah, there we go. Russell, as you'd expect, has pulled off the move on the Aston Martin. But he certainly helped us out. Cost George Russell a couple of seconds over those last few laps. And I can't work out if Ricciardo's come out in traffic or just in front of that gaggle of cars. Whatever it is, we need to keep pushing. So far, green through sector 1. Really trying to open up the run through turn 9 up towards the top of the hill there. Slamming on the anchors at about the 100-metre board. Really, really pushing on this in lap here. This could be make or break this afternoon and really try and give us a shot at the race victory as we head up in towards the final few corners there. Way too much curb there. But navigate our way through the final chicane we go. Get just on the inside of that bollard there as into the pits we come. Nudge the wall on the way in, but we should get away with that. Let's get it slowed down nice and tightly there, and look at that. Green through sector 1, green through sector 2 as well there. But now, George Russell obviously is going to fly past us. We won't get held up by Schumacher and Aitken. They've decided to box on the same lap we have, and I think... Why are the team changing the wing? Oh, dearie me. Why? Why? 6.6 though is not shabby, as Ricciardo's going to fly back past us. I think the wheels were clipped into the ground there, as where are we going to re-emerge? Side by side with Charles Leclerc. This was nowhere near where I expected to be in this Grand Prix there, as Leclerc... Come on, hang on. That was all a bit chaotic over the pit window there. But yeah, 6.6 second stop for a new front wing. I'm not going to complain about in the end then. I must have just picked up a little bit of damage when we nudged the wall on the way into the pit lane there. But Charles Leclerc just come out ahead of us, so we're up to P8 now in this GP. What on earth is happening? So we need to try and get back within the DRS range of Charles Leclerc here, because we're going to be under pressure from Carlos Sainz as we head back down towards turn 1. The Spaniard gaining in his home Grand Prix, but apparently we're just going to get rammed in towards turn 1 there. Again, I've taken way too much curb on the exit, and that is definitely going to be front wing damage for Carlos Sainz there. We didn't move around in the braking zone, but the Spaniard, yeah, just completely misjudging his braking point down towards turn 1 there, and that's going to mean he's going to have to box at the end of this one, and probably Tsunoda is going to struggle to get round him. He's got yellow flags out. Sainz is off. Carlos Sainz out, maybe, of the Grand Prix there. I think he's been able to recover, so I wonder if he's just looped it, trying to put the power down with half a front wing. But chaos suddenly in the Spanish GP there as Charles Leclerc is just running away.
Gap to car in front is 2.4 seconds.
Oh, Charles Leclerc back into the pits then at the end of lap 18, so he's now going to try and get to the end of the Grand Prix here. So really, yeah, this could actually still be a battle between myself and Ricciardo for the win.
Keep pushing.
Who is the car behind? Zhou Guanyu. How am I losing time to him at the moment? But yeah, we are gaining slightly on Daniel Ricciardo, which is good. Only a couple of tenths a lap, but that is critical at the moment because we are probably going to re-emerge fairly close to Russell. Oh, there we go. Max Verstappen into the pits as well. So this should give us a rough indicator of where we are in this GP, as we are still taking time out of Ricciardo. Green through Sector 1, green through Sector 2. Don't think we'll improve through Sector 3 though. I think we were just a bit too ragged that time round. There is a whole handful of cars into the pits. We do improve by just 20 thousandths of a second there, as Verstappen, he's also come out on a set of medium tyres. So the AI going to have much quicker, much fresher rubber to the end, and he's only 5 seconds back, so George Russell is surely going to be all over me, as gap to Ricciardo now under 4. And there we go, George Russell into the pits as well.
Start being a little more conservative with your fuel. We may not finish at this rate of usage.
Well, we are ahead of George Russell, but it is only just in the Spanish Grand Prix there, as I think he wanted to try and be brave back down towards Turn 1, but now we're going to have a mammoth challenge trying to keep the Red Bull at bay in the final third of this Grand Prix. We're still trying to close up the gap to Ricciardo, but it might even just be a case of trying to defend from George, just so we can't get access to those full 25 points. But yeah, we're still going to keep trying to hunt down the gap to Ricciardo, though this win is not out of the question still. Immediately though, Russell is going to be on the offensive there. To the outside he goes. Oh, big lock up down the bottom of the hill, but we don't need this at the moment. You know, we want to still try and close up the gap to Ricciardo. Whether it's just George Russell is let by and then we try and hang on to his coattails, I'm not even convinced we would. To be honest, George Russell is just mighty fast in that Red Bull, as that is not the line through the final chicane there. Big, big mistake as we head out through the final couple of corners, and now George Russell is surely going to be able to apply some pressure there. We're going to try and break the toe as we head back down towards someone there. Verstappen again, another fastest lap of the day. And there goes George Russell. No, you don't. There we go, new personal best at the end of lap 23. Gap to Ricciardo now going back the right way again, as Russell isn't even going to be close enough to go for a move in towards turn 1. We can definitely keep him at arm's length if we nail it. Oh, here comes Russell again though, straight away on the offensive, as again we're going to go super late on the brakes. Just force him round to the outside, and now hope he gets a huge amount of dirty air through the final few corners. Oh, George Russell again though, going to be able to apply pressure with just 8 laps to go of the Grand Prix. Again, we force him to the outside, and again, we just have enough down the straight to be able to outbrake him and force him out at turn 1. But it's just a matter of time, I think, before Russell gets a really good chance. Maybe if he baits one way and goes the other, or just a bit closer, and I'm not expecting him to be. I'm having to monitor so many things late on in the afternoon, as Russell again thought about looking for a move up the inside through turn 5. But Ricciardo, the gap coming down, it's now just over 2 seconds. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues in this GP. No idea who that is. I think it was one of the Haas cars, but it seems like they've got it going again. As this time around again, George Russell even closer every lap. Back down towards someone there. Here goes Russell once again there, and this time around nothing we can do as we get back down towards turn 1 there. Surely now he's going to try and go on an offensive and close up to Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, our first proper wheel-to-wheel battle I think we've had with George Russell this season, as Mazepin out.
Has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed.
And the safety car has been deployed with just a handful of laps to go here, and what horrible timing for me. The fact that George Russell was just able to sneak by.
Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Surely it's not worth pitting this late on in the afternoon. We just wouldn't be able to make up the moves, but that has maybe just handed a potential race victory to George Russell. I mean, to be honest, this could now go any which way. Right, about to go green then with 4 laps to go here in the Spanish Grand Prix then, and the real question is now is, can we fire up these tyres, and when is Ricciardo going to go? Daniel Ricciardo leading this Grand Prix. I think this would be his first win in this series there, as we try and put the power down at the final corner, and not the best run in the world there. We aren't going to be under too much pressure from Max Verstappen behind, but is Ricciardo going to be under pressure from George Russell as we head back down towards turn 1? Oh, Verstappen thought about a look up the inside of us, but couldn't make anything work, as now we just got to try and get these tyres working again. And I think really our best chance here as we get a big wobble out through turn 3 is just to hope they go side by side, and then we can try and pick one, maybe the pair of them off again. 4 laps to go here from Spain, and who is going to walk away with the win? Because of just how much aero we're running around this circuit, we do seem to be pretty strong through Sector 3 there as we just run a little bit wide out of the penultimate corner. But are we going to see Russell get a run on Daniel Ricciardo back towards Turn 1? I don't think we are this time, but I think we're going to see DRS for 1 lap right at the end of the GP. That could be what this comes down to. If we could just get a run out of the penultimate corner.
DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, as I was saying, if we can just get a run out of the penultimate corner here, we could really, really get close to Russell back down towards 1. But DRS has now been re-enabled, so are we going to see the Australian hang on? Like I said, in the perfect world for me, they'll go side by side back down into turn 1, and then hopefully we can try and capitalise. But I just think George Russell is going to take this one away on the very last lap here. That's what I'm worried about is going to happen, and he's going to further extend his championship lead. Starting the final lap then of the Spanish Grand Prix, are we going to see Ricciardo and Russell battle it out as we head down towards turn 1 there? Luca Giotto out of the Grand Prix, and look at that from Ricciardo. He does force Russell defensive through turn 1 there. Are we going to be able to find anywhere to try and capitalise on this though as we head up the hill? Ricciardo, a fantastic job done through turn 1 there. We just don't want to see George Russell walk away with the race victory here, mainly for our own championship challenge as much as anything else there. But yeah, the Haas car falling away late on in the afternoon, but I think Ricciardo might just have done enough unless George Russell can sling one up the inside down the end of the next straight there. Russell gets a big wobble though as we head up the hill through turn 9 we go. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything there. Just the tyres on that Red Bull just a little bit too grippy still as we head around this final lap there, and a big snap of oversteer there as we head down in towards the final few corners. Daniel Ricciardo, it looks like he is finally going to be back on top once again in Formula 1 there. George Russell can't do anything right in the dying stages of the Grand Prix there. Daniel Ricciardo, the Australian, wins here in Spain, and what a race for him and McLaren.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. Their car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team would be pleased that they didn't cook the engine, given how long they were spending in the hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard as well, especially going into the corners, which allowed for some late braking and some exciting passes.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Spanish GP there, and Daniel Ricciardo back on top once more in Formula 1. We don't often see McLaren on top in this series, to be honest. I think they've only ever won one race, I want to say, in the entirety of this My Team career mode. But, I mean, we've seen Ferrari back on top. We've seen McLaren back on top. We've had, what, 5 different winners now in the first 5 Grand Prix of the year there as well. Daniel Ricciardo, both Red Bulls, myself, and, of course, Charles Leclerc as well, winning back in China. So, yeah, this is shaping up to be 2012 as well. Though we just need to see Max Verstappen back on top at some point this year there as well. And I mean, if he can win in Monaco, 6 different winners in the first 6 Grand Prix would be an absolutely insane stat as well. But, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo takes home the dub ahead of George Russell and myself. We had a pretty good job, actually, to get the podium in the end there. But like I said, the one-stop strategy, very, very OP around this circuit. Max Verstappen in 4th ahead of Norris and Stroll. Perez gets the fastest lap in 7th there ahead of Schumacher, Gio and Charles Leclerc. So look at that, Giovinazzi, 19th and 9th in the end. A very, very solid job done by the Alpine. There is your rest of your finishers. Yuki Tsunoda somehow picked up a 5-second penalty, which relegated him from, what, about P12, P13 there, so he wasn't going to score points anyway. But it does mean championship-wise, though, 5 points now. The gap opens up at the top of the standings there. 77 points for us, 82 for George Russell there. Perez still in P3 ahead of Leclerc. Ricciardo jumps all the way up into P5. So our 5 different race winners are now the top 5 in the Drivers' Championship as well there. Verstappen in 6th ahead of both Mercedes still. Giovinazzi, the consistency man, in P9. They're ahead of Sainz still. And then Norris jumps past Ocon and Valtteri Bottas. Mick Schumacher with more points on the board jumps Jack Aitken. And then it's just Mazepin, both Williams, Lundgaard and both Haskars still yet to score there. Constructors-wise, Alpine get a good jump. Actually get jumped even, I should say, by AlphaTauri there. McLaren get a whole lot closer to Mercedes. And we take a couple of points out of Red Bull as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with round 6 of the campaign. We head to Monaco, the jewel in the Formula 1 crown, in our second 100% race here of this series. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.